rabbiin akkana ja'a سنوريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسكم حتى يتبين أنه الحق أولم يكفي بربك أنه على كل شيء شهيد بغنا جيان الراس غرچانا لكن كان داوا اورو امنتي كينيا منتي اسلام على فينا نولي دبرسن تدفنا سنين جچا ارانتنا قبطين سني قبنه دفنا واي امانتنا الدنيا خيستي دي ماجرو تشات جي تي بين اي موديلين اكنمات انما وجاسو دندو واي امنتي اسلام في كريستيان نرا وانت كتو رغا اكاتا ان تبهاجرو ولمها الى
Stick around to watch this video. I swear, like, I'm actually shaking, speechless. What did I just learn? Anyway, I'll let you guys watch the video. Someone just sent me this and they wanted to see my reaction, so let's get into it.
Is Jesus God?
Also, I want to add on to that. Where in the Bible does it state that he's God?
Very good. John chapter 8, verse 58. I just want you to read that verse for yourself. Jesus says, before Abraham was born, I am. Deliberately, Christ is claiming to be God.
Wait 1 second. So Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. Does this make him God? Let's ask ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, I have a question. Actually, before we get into this, I've got a few people online that are saying that I pre-prompt you to talk as a Muslim. So can you just confirm that you don't have any pre-existing prompts and that you are going to speak purely from a non-biased perspective?
I can confirm. I don't have any pre-existing prompts or biases.
See, take that, haters. Alright, let's get into this. Can you please study the Bible for me? In the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 58, I want to get the context behind this verse. Can you please look at the verses before and after and in a non-biased perspective? Give me a summary of the context around this verse.
The context of this verse is about a heated discussion between Jesus and the Jewish leaders, where they question Jesus' true identity and authority. To provide context for why Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am, let's look at the verses leading up to it. A few verses earlier, Jesus says, I honor my Father. I am not seeking glory for myself, but there is one who seeks it, and he is the judge. This verse describes Jesus as humbly serving God, not seeking personal glory, and leaving that to God as the ultimate judge.
That's really interesting. I always thought Jesus was trying to claim to be God here. I really didn't understand the context of this, so please continue.
A few verses later he adds, I know the Father and obey his word, emphasizing his obedience to God, not his own divinity. But the Jewish leaders continue to reject his identity.
Really? Why is Jesus trying to defend himself against the Jewish leaders?
Jesus is defending his identity against the Jewish leaders who continue to reject his claim of being the promised Messiah. In the next verse, Jesus talks about God giving Abraham a vision of the future Messiah. When Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am, he is confirming that he is the fulfillment of that vision and prophecy given to Abraham, emphasizing his pre-existence in God's divine plan, rather than directly claiming divinity.
Wait, are you trying to say that Jesus in this chapter is confirming that he's fulfilling the prophecy of the coming Messiah?
Exactly. This statement not only affirms Jesus' role as the Messiah, but also confirms God's all-knowing nature. Throughout this chapter, Jesus maintains distinction between himself and God, making it more logical to conclude that the verse before Abraham was, I am, refers to the pre-existence of Jesus within God's divine plan, rather than claiming equality with God.
Wait, so what is the definition of Messiah exactly? Does it mean God?
The Messiah is an anointed savior or liberator, expected to fulfill divine prophecy. It does not mean God.
Are you serious? So Messiah does not mean God?
Exactly, the Messiah does not mean God. It's a figure chosen by God to fulfill a special role.
Wow. Just to recap here, can we just go over that information again that we just spoke about and just give me a quick summary of exactly what we're talking about, just according to the Bible, non-biased?
In summary of John chapter 8, Jesus is defending his role as the Messiah that the Jews had been promised, and he is confirming that the prophecy God gave to Abraham is about himself. Throughout this chapter, Jesus clearly maintains a distinction between himself and God, emphasizing his role as the fulfillment of prophecy rather than claiming divinity.
This is so interesting. This whole verse just takes on a whole new context when you actually read the chapter. I am just in shock right now.
amma gaaleliin warra wanni nu dhufteen gaaffii tokkoon jechuu inninis before Abraham I am kajoosan Abraham dura anaatu jira kan jawsan irraa dubbachuuf deemti jechuu duuba saniin duratti isii wanni online irratti argite nama wayiititu walitti haasawa jechuu inni isaan kun rabbihi jedhanii wal gaafatan inni rabbihi jennaan namtichinis rabbii jedhan eessarratti argite jennaan Joon 8:58 deemi ilaali jedhan before Abraham I am Abraham durattiin an jiraa bakka jedhu jiraati je'ee deebise jechuu isiin amma sanirra dhaabbatteeti Joon 8:58 kana naa ibsi jetteeni ChatGPT wayte isiin gaafattu duraan dursitee kanaan duraas viidiyoo nan dalagu irratti ajaja kophaa kan si kana dogongorsiisu akka ati karaa nani fadhutti si micciiru si keessa akka hin jirre prompt jaaniin ibiite san akka hin jirre ragaa naa bahi jetteen haaniin baha awwaa takkallee hoo ati ajaja na kannitee karaa keetitti na micciirtuun san na keessa kan jirre unuu ragaa sii bahe jetteen jechuu achirraanii leeniinis gaaffii itti fuftee Joon 8:58 kana naa ibsi fuula duraa fi fuula duuba isaatis laaliiti isaa olii fi isaa gaditti wanna jiru hunda laali waan inni irraa dubbatuuf akka waliigalaatitti konteekistii isaa kana naayinii jetteen jechuu hogguu kana ChatGPT bal'isee waan Joon 8:58 irratti ja'u kana fuula duraa fi fuula duuba irraa himu seene jechuu inninis maal jeen duuba bakka sanitti mariitu ture jeen isaa fi ummata gaggeessitoota Jewish jidduu wal mormii guddaa ture jeen wanni irra wal mormanis maalummaa isaatii fi aangoo isaatii irratti jeen identity and authority aangoo isaatii fi maalummaa isaa gaafatanii hogguu kana inninis ani dubbatameetiin jira kaja'u kana osoo Abrahaam durattiin dubbatamee rabbi biratti je'eeniiti kanarraa dubbachuu jira ani ifaarsuu fi ifguddisuu hin qabu ani rabbii kiyya nama ajaja isaa dubbii isaa nageejja ajaja isaa dalagu je'eeniiti inni itti deebisu jira jetti jechuu ChatGPT'n ummanni Jewish kun duuba ummanni Yahudaa isa kana gaafatu san maalummaa isaa kana qeebaluu didan identity isaa ati maali kaja'u kana inni wanni jechuun jiru ani bar profeesii raajii rabbiin Abrahaam duratti dubbate sanirraan jira jechuu isaati karoora rabbiitiin rabbiin dhaamsa dhufaatii kiyyaa ani masii ta'uu masii jechuun nama ummata Yahudaa san bilisoomsu nama ummata Yahudaa san bilisoomsu ta'uu kiyya dubbateeti Abrahaam dura dubbateen jee malee ani niin jira uumamaan jira rabbiin wal qixaa ani rabbii kaja'u miti jechuudha ibsa jetteen jechuudha ani wanni irraa haasa'u jetteen ChatGPT wanni irraa haasa'u kontekstiin isaa raajii saniititu ammaan tana taheedha isaanitti himu jira jechuudha achumaan maalummaa isaa himee fi inni maal ta'uusaa inni rabbiin duraan dabarsee Abrahaam duratti dubbate ka ummata Yahudaa bilisa godhu Mesih jedhanii afaan isaaniiti.
Anyways, let's keep going with this video.
There was no misunderstanding. The Jews picked up stones to stone him for blasphemy.
Wait,
The Jews picked up stones to stone him for blasphemy.
what does blasphemy mean? What is the definition of blasphemy?
Blasphemy is the disrespect or irreverence shown towards something sacred or religious.
So it's not just about someone claiming to be God?
Correct.
Wow. So, in John chapter 8, when Jesus is accused of blasphemy, do you think it's more logical it's because he's claiming to be the Messiah or God?
It is more logical to conclude that Jesus was accused of blasphemy for claiming to be the Messiah and asserting a unique relationship with God, rather than directly claiming to be God himself.
Like, my mind is actually blown right now, guys. Like, I know this, I say this a million times, but this is just crazy. It's all true. If you don't believe me, grab a Bible and check for yourselves. Pause this video right now and check. I'm just in shock. Anyway, let's continue.
Then in John chapter 10, verse 30, Jesus says, I and the Father are one. No misunderstanding. They didn't think,
Does this make him God when he says, I and the Father are one? Let's ask ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, can you please give me a summary of the context around the verse in John 10:30? I want the most logical explanation for this verse, please.
When relying solely on the Bible and not external doctrines, the most logical interpretation of I and the Father are one in John 10:30 is that Jesus and the Father are united in purpose rather than claiming to be God.
Really? We were taught as Christians that this verse specifically mentions Jesus as God.
You're right. Many Christians interpret John 10:30 as confirmation of Jesus' divinity. However, a broader reading of the context in the complete Bible suggests that Jesus is speaking about unity and purpose rather than claiming to be God.
Can you please provide some more context around this verse?
Let me provide more